FoxBusiness.com is where you want to go. And coming up is that time of the year again. I hate to say it, but tax time is here. We've got some tips to save you time and maybe save you some money. Stay with us. Money for Breakfast. We'll be right back.
All right, so as Wendell reports there, budget cuts look like they're likely. Tax hikes, we'll see as we go on here. But speaking of taxes, you may want to make some moves with your personal taxes here in the last few days of 2008 as we head into 2009. And tax advisors, like our next guest, say it is still possible to save up to $20,000 when it comes to filing your 08 tax return. That sounds pretty good. Roni Deutch, tax attorney and CEO of the Roni Deutch Tax Center. She joins us now. Good to see you, Roni. Thanks for coming in here. Happy holidays to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
There's a couple of things we could talk about here, but the idea that people can still save. What's the first thing that they should know about trying to save, whether it's $20,000 or just trying to save any money on their taxes?
First of all, I have good news for people, Connell. We're going to save money on taxes, and we can do it a few ways. Number one, I would like Americans to take a look at saving for their future. 401ks. We can put $15,500 into our 401k. That's pre-tax dollars. If you don't put that $15,500 away, depending on what tax bracket you're in, the IRS will take half of it. What about an IRA? Let's put $5,000 in there and not let the IRS get that money. There are so many wonderful things that we can do. What about getting organized? You do the math, Connell. If you make $100,000 and I can get you organized and find you $50,000 in deductions, in credits. Connell, do the math. $100,000 gross, $50,000 in deductions. You only pay taxes on that $50,000.
Right.
But to get people organized, that is the real challenge here. People spend more money, Connell, organizing their closets and their shoes than their finances.
I just had a guy talking about shoes a moment ago. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm glad you did the math for me, by the way, Roni, which was helpful. Now, a lot of people say that they try to overpay, right? That's a strategy a lot of people use. To overpay throughout the year, hope to get it all back in a return. But from what I understand, you don't like that idea. Why not?
I'm so grateful you're bringing up our refund addiction.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what 70 to 80% of Americans do. They get a refund check in April. On average, it's about $2,400. Number one, they could have got that money, Connell, $200 a month, instead of giving the IRS that money as an interest-free loan. Here's what happens. You sit down with those people who get refunds and you ask, how much did you pay in taxes? They say, I have no idea.
Right.
I got a refund check. It is the greatest gig that the IRS has. They take all of your money. You don't get any of it during the year. And then you get that fat check of $2,400. And you know what you do with it? You blow it on big ticket items.
Right.
Versus, listen to me, you could invest that money during the year. $200 a month you could invest in your 401k. Or what else could we do? We could put it towards our children's education. We could pay our grocery bill. Bottom line is, stop giving it to the Grinch.
It's funny, the Grinch. I think it's funny that you bring that up this year because every other year, you're probably right. We could have invested it. This year, if we took that money up front and invested it, it probably would be gone right now. In other words, we would have got hammered on that investment, and somebody who's using the strategy will say, whew, at least I didn't do that. Now I can take the money and do whatever I want with it in the spring. This year, your strategy wouldn't have worked that well, would it?
You know what? I absolutely respect the balancing act that we must do as Americans. Social Security will not be there when you and I grow up. We've got to look at what facts. How much longer are you going to work? Now we know you probably added another 3 to 5 years to working, but stepping back, I still prefer, you got 10 years left, you got 15, 20, the market is going to change. Don't be so fearful of the volatility of that market. Instead, I come back to, Connell, we've got to make a date with ourselves in the future. And let's elaborate on your point with the math. We would have paid the IRS $7,500 in that $5,500 that we could have put away tax-free. Do the math. Give them $7,500 or put it towards your future and take the risk in the stock market. I believe it's going to go up, Connell. I really have hope. And if we've got 10 years left or 20 years left, we can take that money and do something with it.
All right. I'm just saying a lot of people this year would have said, whew, good thing I didn't do it just because they got hammered in the stock market. But like you say, every year is different. Now, Another thing that I know you've been advising people to do is prepay their mortgage, right, for tax purposes as much as possible. Talk about that just a little bit before we let you go.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that point up. Prepay, prepay, prepay. Why is that, guys? If you actually made money in 2008, congratulations. You need as many deductions now so you do not have to pay more in taxes. I say this, prepay your mortgage interest. Prepay your state taxes. If you own a business, Connell, get out there and buy supplies, buy equipment. There are so many wonderful tax laws that let you deduct it now, Connell, when we need it. We need money now after getting hammered in 2008. So if you've got the money and you can prepay your expenses, I absolutely recommend it. Take the deduction today and pay that IRS less money in April.
Roni, great to see you. Thanks a lot. You know, Roni's a little more forward-looking than many of us. She asked how long I plan to work. I know I'm off next week, and there have been times this morning I'm just hoping to get through the show. So we're hoping, but the long-term view and a lot of enthusiasm. Roni Deutch, the one and only.
Long-term view, I'm telling you, taxes are going to go down. Make sure and send my regards to Charles and Alexis. Thanks for your time, guys.
Will do. Charles is right here. I'll tell him in a second. Alexis is off this week and next, or today and next week. But now, another member of our great ensemble of cast of characters here, Jenna Lee in London with the news headlines.